Good morning, this November 7th. Here are the latest war and conflict news from around the world today. The world is watching as conflicts test global stability, from grinding warfare in Eastern Europe to a deepening humanitarian crisis in the Middle East and widespread atrocities in Sudan. Here's what you need to know about the world's most critical conflict zones this morning. We're going to start off in Ukraine. Now, in its fourth winter, the war in Ukraine is defined by brutal, close quarters combat and a relentless assault on the nation's infrastructure. The fighting is most intense in eastern Donetsk region, where Russian forces are trying to tighten their grip on the strategic city of Pokrovsk. Russian assault groups have been pushing into the city, creating a chaotic gray zone of overlapping control. While the situation for Ukrainian defenders is extremely difficult, they are not encircled and are fighting for every street. The Pokrovsk sector is seeing some of the heaviest pressure on this entire front, with Ukrainian defenders repelling dozens of assaults around the city and nearby towns. Casualty figures remain high. According to one Ukrainian report from November 7th, since the beginning of the November, 71 Russian servicemen have been eliminated, another 36 wounded in Pokrovsk. Meanwhile, Ukraine is hitting back from a distance. Its Special Operation Forces announced on November 7th that long range drones successfully struck an oil depot and logistical facilities in Russian occupied Crimea. Another deep strike reportedly hit a petrochemical plant deep inside Russia's Republic of Bashkortostan, over 1,000 kilometers from the Ukrainian border, targeting a facility that produces additives for aviation fuel. These attacks aim to disrupt Russia's war machine, even as the country faces another harsh winter. Russia strikes are systematically targeting power plants and railways, threatening to leave millions in the cold and dark. Now, moving on to the Middle East. In the Middle East, tensions are still incredibly high. In southern Lebanon, Israel has escalated its near daily attacks, conducting a wave of intense airstrikes on what it claims are Hezbollah military sites. The Israeli military issued evacuation warnings to residents in several towns before the strikes, stating its goal to prevent Hezbollah from rearming. This is all happening despite a fragile ceasefire from November 2024, which both sides have accused the other of violating. In Gaza, the humanitarian crisis is getting worse as winter sets in. There's no formal, lasting ceasefire, and the situation on the ground remains dire. The government media office in Gaza warns that Israel's ban on the entry of tents and cooking gas is making the suffering worse for over 1 million displaced people. Aid agencies report that more than 282,000 housing units have been damaged or destroyed, leaving families exposed to the elements. On the diplomatic front, the United States is pushing for a new UN Security Council resolution to authorize an international stabilization force for Gaza. The proposed force would aim to disarm Hamas and secure the borders. But the plan faces big hurdles, as Hamas has not agreed to disarm. Moving on to Sudan. In Sudan, the world's largest displacement crisis continues to spiral, with widespread reports of ethnic cleansing and atrocities that some advocacy groups and the UN's Genocide Prevention Advisor are investigating as potential war crimes. After a brutal siege, the city of El Fasher in northern Darfur has reportedly fallen to the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, unleashing a new wave of terror with reports of house to house searches and executions. For the people on the ground, the humanitarian situation is catastrophic. A recent U.S. backed analysis has confirmed that famine conditions are now present in Al Fasher and the city of Kadugli, where people have been cut off from flood medical care for months. Across Sudan, nearly 8.5 million people have been internally displaced since the conflict began in April 2023, and over 21 million people are facing severe flood insecurity. In a recent move, the RSF announced it has agreed to a U.S. backed proposal for a humanitarian truce. The Sudanese military, however, has not yet responded, and past ceasefire attempts have all failed. Human rights organizations are urging the world not to look away, warning that horrific atrocities are unfolding right now. Moving on to other global hotspots. Elsewhere, the North Korea launched another ballistic missile into the sea on Friday, the latest in a string of recent weapon tests. The missile flew approximately 700 kilometers before landing outside of Japan's exclusive economic zone. The launch drew condemnation from Tokyo, while the Kremlin defended its ally, stating Pyongyang has a right to ensure its security. Analysts believe the tests are meant to improve strike capabilities and serve as a bargaining chip for any future talks. The world is facing a series of interconnected crises, each with the potential to destabilize entire regions, from brutal wars of attrition to escalating humanitarian disasters. The need for diplomatic solutions and civilian protection has never been more urgent. What's your take on how the international community is responding to these conflicts? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to stay informed with in depth analysis of global conflicts, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Stay informed.